I have no idea. I'm probably the lowest position. Or probably like slightly higher than the freshman. That's it. I think then that way I should get the ball.
Yep, there's also zoom in and zoom out here if you want.
No, I like it. I prefer it here.
There?
No,
okay.
Right here. And then
follow the ball.
Yeah.
Your camera might be live. So.
I need to. Why?
Because. One sec. Zoom out the fourth thing.
welcome in, everybody. This is one of our most interesting projects of the year. I'm joined by one of our teachers from the science department, Mr. Joseph Augustinski. And then on the right side of your screen, we are joined by a Notre Dame alumnus, Josh Lill, class of 2020. So this is awesome. You know, this is something we've never done before. We've never had a remote broadcast. This is something very new that we're trying out today. Hopefully we can do this more in the upcoming. And we've also got Mr. Og that's come up here. Avid soccer fan. He's probably going to show me up and what to say and what not to say.
No, never, sir. You're doing a fantastic job. Fantastic job all year.
And so is Josh, because he does it for a living now.
I think Josh is going to show both of us up.
I agreed.
I don't know. I didn't really know too much about soccer before March, and then I got, working with the women's team, the only soccer team we have here. Just great people to work with here, and they've really helped me understand the game a lot more. Just coming into this season, I would say it's been a lot of users saying, "Oh, they're doing an attacking 4-3-3, and they're doing this and that." Whereas last year, I'm like, you got the goalkeeper and you got the people on the bench. Now I'm a little more versed in the soccer culture and feel a lot more comfortable with it.
Well, we'll be learning together.
Yeah,
it
should be interesting.
We'll talk about the 3-5-2 that ND plays.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
go ahead. So I'm going to leave Mr. Og and Josh to talk it out while I have to go serve my duties as a PA announcer. So we're going to leave it to these guys.
Oh, fantastic.
Good luck,
excellent.
man.
Well, the Dons are off to a fantastic start this year. As I mentioned, running what I believe is a 3-5-2, meaning they're running 3 defenders, 5 midfielders, and 2 on the attack. But I tell you what, Josh, I don't know if you caught any of the games. They have just been swarming the ball the entire time.
Well, that's the thing. Coach Mike Smith, who has done a phenomenal job with the Notre Dame program over the years, he really preaches just a constant attack with it. Yes, you look at the 3-5-2 and you think, okay, this is mainly, for defense. You have considered 3 center backs. There's no 1 center back and 2 full backs. You have 3 center backs on this, and that fifth, that middle inside, that center mid is not really considered a center mid. That player acts more as of a holding midfielder. So more on the defensive side, that player will drop back occasionally. But, Mr. Og, what we have seen is a nonstop attack from the Dons. Again, Coach Mike Smith preaches it, and that's why we've seen the relentless scoring from the Dons as they, if I am correct, 7 games in a row of shutouts? 6 or 7 games.
I believe so. I believe that they they just started finally relenting a couple goals recently. Had a tough weekend, but they're bounced back and they're ready to go.
Yeah, so they've definitely had an interesting start to the season. Coming off of a COVID year last year, shortened season, and then my senior year 2 years ago before the world went a little crazy. Coach Mike Smith won Coach of the Year, made it to the Super Sectionals with his squad, led by guys like Jaime Gutierrez, Andrew Gale, Clayton Sheehan, and goalie Jeremy Spina.
Excellent, and I think we're going to turn it over, Josh, now for the intro by Danny.
Sounds good.
Good evening and welcome to Notre Dame. Tonight's matchup is between the Northridge Knights and your Notre Dame Dons. Let's meet the starting lineups for the visiting Northridge Knights. Number 13, Rocco Capello. Number 20, Owen Coleman. Number 17, Jack Brown. Number 10, Joseph Mullen. Number 7, Ben Hanratty. Number 21, Daniel Kaiser. Number 3, Isaiah Fletcher. Number 4, Thomas Acosta. Number 26, Owen Mongobin. Number 2, Linus Glenn. And number 22, Jacob Klatt. Northridge is coached by Alvaro Vargas, assisted by Russell Fernandez. And now the starting lineup for your Notre Dame Dons. Let's meet the captains. Number 1, Zach Martin. Number 2, Paul Harris. Number 16, Michael Shanahan. Number 99, Luca Lobianco. Number 3, Ryan Shanahan. Number 5, Marty Krug. Number 7, Trevor Johnson. Number 8, Daniel Dino. Number 13, Michael Zimba. Number 14, Freddie Krug. And number 19, Jack Plovanich. Notre Dame is coached by Mike Smith, assisted by Tom Crowley and Mike Pearson. At this time, we ask you to please rise and kindly remove your caps as we honor our nation with our national anthem.
You don't have to leave it on split screen the whole time. We can take it off. Okay. All right, where'd my set go? There we go. Thank you. All right, let's send it over to. Oh, hey, look at that. He's got to adjust the wheels, right? Hey, look. Huh? Oh, hi. That was loud.
Welcome, Danny Berg.
I'm back. All right, so we are just about ready to get things underway here as I go into my best golf voice. The next Jim Nance of golf. And now here we go. It got like really eerily quiet here. So that was weird.
Everyone's on the edge of their seats.
Yeah, that was pretty whack.
So here's the thing you have to watch out for the Dons right over here is they will take a minute to get settled in with those center backs, but you see them push it up the near flank, heading towards the left, and a deep kick by Harris to dump it in.
And Dino's in there in the middle. Right. Oh, nice centering.
Almost 3 points.
Not a bad idea to put it on goal right off the bat.
No, definitely the right idea there. And you could see that holding midfielder did lead up. And if I'm correct, one of the holding mids, or the holding mid, I should say, or the center backs made their way up the field just to clear some space on the left side to give that center forward a chance there. Although too much mustard on that hot dog there. It goes over to Northridge.
Nice. This is what you get when you go to a professional school for this.
I don't know. I think he had that one written down, Josh.
You just start talking about hot dogs.
More, that's right.
Now you guys are making me hungry.
Didn't you just have dinner too?
Nah, I was doing a little bit of prep. I had a snack.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Oh, nice, calm, cool, and collected from Plavanic. A little bit of pressure, but he's setting it back up, and it's going to be Don's ball. They're pushing numbers in the box.
Oh, there's Freddie, and it goes. Freddie Krug puts the Dons on the board. Not even 2 minutes into the game. Dons leading 1-0.
Hey, Cowabunga, the Dons strike again. And you have to like the throw in there coming from the Dons. He finds Krug right over the middle, and Krug uses his speed and elusiveness to get past the last center backs that Northridge had available. One-on-one with the goalie there. And you can see Krug very calm and cool and collective about it. He's just like, yeah, here we go.
It's all about that pace. It really is. They're bringing the pressure immediately, and they were all ready to jump on the ball when they saw what they had to throw in.
Oh, we got another one? No. Just really hoping for another Cowabunga.
I foresee a couple Cowabungas here.
Agreed.
Funny enough, I've actually been told by people I've been saying it wrong. I guess it's Cowabunga?
Cowabunga? Instead of Cowabunga?
Yeah, I guess there's a W instead of an L.
Oh.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
I kind of got a little embarrassed. That goal call got tweeted out as Cowabunga, and it got retweeted, and I was thinking, oh, geez. Well,
Did you go viral, Josh?
Nah, by like one person.
Slightly. So, in case we didn't notice, Michael Zimba back into the starting lineup. He had been out for a couple of games. And Ryan Shanahan getting into the starting lineup, which is awesome to see. We got both the Shanahan brothers out there.
So we got a
and here's Zach Martin. Has a chance. Puts one in. Off the crossbar.
And that is just a great look.
Wow. You have to like the feed coming off the foot of Trevor Johnson on the far side. Definitely someone you want at that center forward position, just able to facilitate the ball, having a good view of what he does, and just such a great opportunity for Zach Martin there. Not able to connect, but coming off the crossbar, Zach Martin's definitely going to be open again, and he is someone on this team that will capitalize on those opportunities because, this year his stats are through the roof. He's having a great year. Alongside a team that averages 5 goals a game, 1 goal, 1 assist for 3 points. He's having a good year, especially as a senior with that captain role.
A lot
And
of
Northridge
shouting.
is playing a little bit of possession here. Carrying it up along the left side. He's looking for some help, but those 3 center backs, they're there, Josh.
Yeah, and that's what they need to do. They need to protect Lobianco on here because Northridge isn't afraid to put the ball in the net. They've done it several times this year. They've done it well. The record not shown for it, going 3-4, 1-2 in conference, but they have facilitated well enough. They have scored. They did score 9 goals against Christian Liberty, and then a 1-0 win against Elmwood Park on the road, and then 3-2 victory against Chicago. So definitely when they win, they either put a good number of goals on the board, or if they lose, they're either shutting out or they put a lot of goals on the board. So they haven't really found that in-between range yet, but when they lose, they've gotten shut out twice, put up 1 goal once, and 2 goals twice in losses. So
it's just up to the Dons to keep that momentum from building. Don't give them the big goals.
yeah, because if you give them chances, they're going to find the holes in your center backs and in that holding midfield there. And you could just see the midfield right now is on lockdown mode. Trevor Johnson's like a ball hawk up there.
So kind of what you were saying, Josh, referring to Northridge, this is more of like a feast or famine offense. As Lobianco with the pickup.
And a quick out to Martin. Oh.
Right, Josh?
Yes, and oftentimes, I didn't know if anyone was going to say anything else. I don't want to interrupt. So what you'll notice sometimes with these center backs is that they I like to allude to this on the, over here when we're doing games, is they kind of play a role of quarterback. You're going to see the center backs are going to take it. They settle it down. Well, right now it's at the goalkeeper, but you can see over here, they're going to settle it down and eventually find their play. Harris, he's going to see what he likes, and the play's going to run through him. He just finds the midfielder.
Nice ball.
Ooh. Almost on a fast break for Trevor Johnson, but now Paul Harris going to take this one down to the corner. Just under 6 minutes completed, and it's already 1-0 game. Don's leading.
Yes, the Dons will do that to you.
They've shown it so far, especially with the starters core. We've seen them start scoring goals in bunches, and one that really stands out is St. Viator last week, where they put in like 3 goals in about 15 minutes, which was pretty crazy, and then put in 6 against DePaul in the Don Raider Cup tournament. And for context, those were only 35-minute halves. Heyo.
Yes, no, Danny. The Dons always have a great showing at the Don Raider Cup. They did all 4 years when I was at school there, and it seems they have continued success throughout that tournament.
Yeah, going 3-0 with 3 shutouts. We had 2 of these games right here. Sun's starting to set on a awesome night here.
Oh, it's a beautiful day for the beautiful game, gentlemen. It really is.
Well said, Mr. Ogg. Well said. Beautiful
I
day.
didn't have that one written down. Nor is it about hot dogs.
So, Josh, you're in your 3rd semester in college. Why don't you talk a little bit how it's been for you so far?
Thank you guys for asking. It's been an awesome experience last year. Little different, but under the circumstances and from what I heard with my friends, different universities, Nebraska was able to keep cases pretty low. That what it came down to was just wearing your mask. We went in person every day, at least me, because you had the option. They gave us the option. You could go online or in person. I thought, go in person if I have the chance. And just because learn better in person and get to meet more people. So I had that. It was a fun experience. The only thing was, the mask wearing. But other than that, besides reduced classes, it was a very normal experience. I was very happy with how the university handled it. And this year, phenomenal. Now it's really just only wearing a mask indoors. And classes are full capacity. Football stadium, 85,000 out to see the Huskers this weekend. And awesome experiences here. So we hope all universities are going to get to that point again, high schools, depending on, what the regulations are. But I'm so grateful for how all of our, teachers, chancellor, president, vice president, how all those people in that office are making this possible for us in Lancaster County for giving us
Josh,
something.
how many physics classes are you taking?
Mr. Ogden, I haven't taken a science class. Well, if you consider oceanography science, I'm taking that right now.
Well, absolutely.
So yeah, I'm taking it right now. It's really fun. Had a quiz today. Went well, and it's a lot of fun to learn about. I really like the ocean and different stuff about it.
If you've just tuned in, everybody, this is obviously Science Talk with a little bit of soccer in the background. I've hijacked the microphone.
Well, Mr. Ogden, if you want to bring physics with soccer, we could talk about momentum all day. So.
Oh, absolutely. Actually, I'll do a quick pitch for the Science Club podcast, Science and Stuff, where last year we did talk about the science of some trick shots, as Daniel Labuda brought on that topic, and we talked about curving a soccer ball and bending it, and so check that out. That's on the Media Crew YouTube page.
Yeah, you might have to go back a little bit for that one, but those were a couple really good episodes by Mr. Og, Joe Nowak, and Ethan Vargas.
That's right.
So it is definitely worth a listen or a watch because there's some bonus content in there too.
We may or may not eat bugs.
Wow.
Oh.
Bold move.
Yeah. Put some mustard on the hot dog. What did you say?
Yeah, a little too much mustard on that hot dog.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Mr. Ogda, one of the best physics teachers you could possibly have in the Chicagoland area. We had a great time my senior year before, got cut short and we went remote. But I do remember your lesson on momentum with Marshawn Lynch and how we did all those equations.
Yeah, going beast mode. Absolutely.
So is that something I have to be in store for this year, Josh?
Yeah, a bit of a spoiler.
Oh, I gave it.
No, you got to give him something to look forward to.
Yeah.
Oh. Hey, it's okay. It's okay.
Back on the pitch, this has been a bit of a battle in the midfield as they've gone. But, Dino finds Shanahan on the outside. He's surveying his options. He's going to cross it back middle. Oh, man. A good idea by Dino, but just sniffed out by Northridge.
And here's Freddie now. Putting a stop to one. Martin just going to sail this one out.
Johnson's not that tall.
He had the right idea, but let's talk about that play, that pass, that high IQ pass by Dino, just to thread the needle on that far side and cross it over the field. Finding Krug, who, by the way, is one of the top scorers with men's soccer right now in Illinois, in the IHSA. 14 goals. Let me repeat that, folks. That is a 1 and a 4. Phenomenal play by Krug this year. Big reason why this offense is such a threat.
And it looked like a good chance there. A little too hot to handle on that ball, but I feel another one coming soon, Josh.
I mean, how can you not with this Don's attack, excuse me. It's like watching the Kansas City Chiefs out here. Just they get the ball at their feet. Okay, how are they going to put it in the net? It's not if or when. It's how are they going to do it? Are they going to hit you with a couple passes across the flanks or penalty shots? Are they just going to flat out put some dance moves on you, see defenders flying all over the place, and open nets? Who knows? The Dons can do it all. Mike Smith, Tom Crowley, and Mike Pearson have really...
Great run by Krug here. Oh, just a little too heavy, but I loved the idea.
Great pass, great find. Just a little too heavy, like you alluded to, Mr. Og. Just a little too heavy. And when you're running that fast, sometimes it's really hard to control the ball that's traveling at such a huge speed and settle at your feet and create an opportunity for yourself or someone else at the same time.
It is. I think one of the hardest things when you start is just getting that first touch down, is receiving the ball and receiving it under control. Because you're right, when you're going so high speed, it's easy for it to just ricochet a couple yards away, and then the other team's got the ball.
And back to some more momentum talk.
Oh, yeah. Carry on, Josh. I talked right over you.
Oh, no, you're good. Keep going, Mr. Og.
Oh. Again, another good look in the box.
Well, Well, this is something that we've been consistently seeing all night. You know, something that we have normally seen against these non-conference opponents for the Dons is that they've been able to penetrate right on the goal, be able to sneak some throughs, get some one-on-ones going down the field. But so far, we really haven't seen too much of that so far.
Well, I think the thing is with Northridge, and we've seen this in plenty of their sports, they may let up a score or two, but then they really know how to settle the pace down.
As we have seen so far, they gave up a goal before the second minute was even up, and now here we are, nothing anymore.
Especially in a game like soccer, it's all about going forward, especially in the first 2 minutes. You can put that behind you. In this game, you have 78 minutes to put another goal up, so they got some time.
Yeah, give some credit to them. They have bounced back well from the first goal, and you know, as the Dons, you don't want to think about it too much, but they've had a couple good chances, and they just haven't fallen yet, and you hope Northridge doesn't creep back into the game with that.
1-0 Notre Dame leading.
With this,
sorry, Josh.
Oh, no, go for it, Dan.
1-0 Notre Dame leading so far. It is the Battle of Niles. Last year, for context, the game ended in a 0-0 tie. So Don's definitely out with some revenge on their minds, especially considering a lot of them thought they could have played better last year. And so far, the scoreboard shows it.
And who's to say more won't be added to the scoreboard. But Northridge has lost 3 of their last 4 with 4-0 and 3-0 losses to Deerfield, Lake Forest, coming up Sly against Chicago University High School, and then dropping to Latin 4-2. So definitely looking to edge their way back in a conversation, not just in their conference, but more towards like relevance, towards skill, hoping and praying that they can get to that next level again, just to even be at 500 and eventually get over that hump, even get to 6-4, 7-4, something like that, to give themselves something to move forward to and look at the film and get better off of it.
Don's taking their time back to the ball here. It's a quick and crafty way to catch a breath. A lot of running. So much running.
This is why I could never do this. I can never do it. See, this is like what
Danny, I think you could do it.
Well, here's one of the
faith in you.
it's one of the great things that I really like about this sport is that these guys are consistently going for about 90 minutes. And you know, you had the 40-minute halves and then the 10-minute break, obviously, in between. But it's like, it amazes me how these guys are able to do it day in and day out.
Yeah, and the physical toughness they display on the field, not just running back and forth, but just the eagerness and the hungriness, you could say, for the ball, just constantly going for it. And never really settling down. You even saw the center backs for Notre Dame would end up moving up a little past the 50-yard line, even further, which you're supposed to, but they're just on the full attack, just relentless, just wanting more and more. Northridge is holding their own right now. Those first couple of minutes looked a little rough, but it seems they have found their common ground, and they're settling in. They're getting the idea of what Notre Dame wants to do on the attack offensively and how they want to play defensively. So Northridge might be able to work through that.
Ooh,
nice save there.
Yeah, smart play. Goalkeeper coming off his line, pretty high, but that was going to be a goal. Crew doesn't give up until the ball goes out. And we got
hello,
some
viewers at home.
substitutions here.
So, Mr. Ogg, where does your passion for soccer come in? I'd like to know.
Oh, that's a great question. Back when I was in college, I spent some time in Europe studying, both in Spain and in London. And honestly, what better places to go to fall in love with soccer?
You couldn't pick better.
I hadn't really watched before then, and then it was just a matter of being there and sort of. I went to one game in Spain, and it was fantastic. And I think just when I came back from there, started watching more and more. After a couple years, started playing, realized I was terribly out of shape. And it's just something that I keep paying attention to and kind of fall in love with. It's a global game. It's a ton of fun to watch. It's nonstop. So, but yeah, just the opportunity to go abroad.
Well, sorry, the audio froze up for a sec. I could imagine, though. I mean, being immersed in such a culturally driven soccer passion, in England and Spain, and just a great background over there, especially, man, you got FC Barcelona, Real Madrid, and then you go over to England. I couldn't even tell you. I mean,
Well,
Manchester.
You got
Arsenal.
Barcelona, Madrid. There you go.
Yeah,
there
and then unbelievable.
There's DiFilippo trying to get one in. Oh, just missing. Frank DiFilippo just missing the left goalpost by about 2-3 feet. Almost.
So, Josh, all that to say, give it a couple more years and you'll be right where I am.
Wow.
Yeah, I for sure cannot play the game of soccer. I am absolutely terrible at it. I could play goalie, mediocrely, but it's
Josh,
great to
I
be.
wish I had videos of me going out there for the first time because it was not pretty.
I tell people if they are ever really down in the dumps, feeling super sad on a day, I say just watch me play soccer. It's not good. It's terrible.
But you know what? You get better.
Practice makes perfect.
That's right.
And this one saved.
But going back a couple of minutes, DiFilippo, how about them apples? He wanted that shot from way down yonder. And like you said, 2 or 3 feet away from grazing the post. So he's going to fire from anywhere. I think Northridge needs, and they can't even focus on him for that. They got to understand that anyone on Notre Dame is able to do that.
Well, that's the interesting thing is, as we said, subs came in, and that attack was led by Alessandro Mortasevich. Started that off with Freddie Krug, and then DiFilippo had a chance to finish. So that's 2 subs coming on. The Dons have depth.
And you've got. I almost feel like Frank's got a little bit of a chip on his shoulder. He was a guy that was getting a lot of minutes last year for this group, and then this year he's kind of playing a little more of a bench role. So it seems like he's taking his minutes where he's getting them.
And looks like we got
And for anyone out there,
substitution.
Shanahan
and you're seeing it right now. I mean, just remember this: 2 Ds, double D, dangerous depth. Depth is dangerous. Any dangerous threat deals with depth. Having all these players that could come off the bench, facilitate, create opportunities for each other, play on the attack and on the defense, your team's in great hands if you are able to do that. If you have a weak bench, you might be okay with good starters, but depth is dangerous.
This one just going to miss.
Great ball into the far post and just a little ahead of DiFilippo. The substitution a second ago, Aiden Kimura came in for Michael Shanahan, playing that holding mid that we're calling it in the 5 midfield.
He's got a really high sock on his left leg. It's a very interesting sock design.
Is that a stylistic choice? I'm going to have to ask him.
I wonder. It would be great, though, if he was wearing 2 different colored shoes. That would really match it. 17 minutes to go here in the first half between the Dons and the Knights. It's a 1-0 game. It's been a defensive battle so far, as we haven't had any scoring in about 20 minutes. Danny Berg, Mr. Augustinski of the Science Department. Off the head, there goes that one. And alumnus Josh Lill calling from Lincoln, Nebraska.
Some fancy footwork. And just a little too far for him.
Hello again, everybody. And I just want to thank Danny Berg, Mr. Ogg, and all of the media crew, Ms. Herman, and everyone at Notre Dame for helping to put this together. This by no means is an easy task to do a remote broadcast. It took a little bit to set up, and the guys have been working very hard on it all week. So if you see them, give them a shout out, give them an in-person thank you from me, because this is awesome to be back with the Dons announcing games, especially doing it remotely. I was very excited. I'm thinking, wow, we can do this like the bubble, like the NBA and all those leagues back when COVID was really at its peak. So thank you for making this possible, guys. This is awesome.
It likely will not be the last we see of you either, as Josh has said he wants to do some more high school football back at his alma mater.
Well, and what's nice is here in Lincoln with KRNU, the radio station we all broadcast for, they do assign high school games. So it is part of that mantra when you're in the journalism school and you're really in the thick of the broadcasting, you do get high school football. So I thought, hey, why not? If they really want to, this would look cool too, saying we've done remote broadcasting, and very excited to keep working with the media crew. Glad to be back after a 1.5 year hiatus.
And it looks like we got a peek of the varsity football team has emerged from the trenches. As nothing there.
And we're going to get a goal kick.
All of a sudden, it got pretty cool out. So, Josh, I'm interested. I meant to ask you this earlier, but I completely forgot about it until just now. What was it like last year being in Memorial Stadium and not having any fans around?
Hey, Danny, I think my audio cut up. I heard something about Memorial Stadium. What was your question?
Oh, sorry. I was asking, last year, Memorial Stadium had no fans. What was it like trying to cover the Huskers last year without any noise like that?
Danny, I am so sorry. The audio cut out right as you were asking your question again. One more.
Oh my
Three times the charm.
3 times the charm. So what was it like last year at Memorial Stadium to not have any fans around?
It was definitely, at least, and I'm thinking in terms of not even just the students, but Nebraska as a whole. Definitely really, the state took a hit on it because Nebraska football and women's volleyball is probably the biggest things they have here, and not being able to really go in person to see either of those clubs until their scrimmages at the end of the school year in the late spring, September of 2021. Not being able to go see them in person, I think really had an impact on fans. Still probably tailgating and stuff, but not able to get that in-game experience, be near the stadium. And Big Ten, you got to remember, didn't start till the end of October. Nebraska only played 6 games, and the season didn't go the way they wanted. 2-5, I think. And definitely fans were disappointed they couldn't go. But by the end of the year, fans were being allowed at baseball, softball games, soccer towards the end of it because soccer got bumped to the fall. But they handled it really well, and I think everyone was really mature about it and took what they could from the situation.
Bit of a
Seems we'll
lull
have
here,
fun.
but some nice work put in by Mordashevitz to really facilitate and turn it around, and some pressure leads the Dons to a corner kick. Let's see if anyone can put a head on this one.
Goes up, and
They could! Just a little wide. And by a little, I mean, wide.
a little bit.
It's crazy. Corner kicks have such a huge impact in the game of soccer. It's all about placement. I was calling a game. Nebraska was going up against, I think, Nebraska-Omaha, and 3 consecutive corner kicks. One was too high and outside. The other was low and too inside. And the other was just perfect and barely missed. So corner kicks are super hard to take 100% advantage of and score off of. You have to be placed perfectly. The ball's got to hit your head in the right spot. Tough plays. But the Dons are a team that are good off of them.
Yes, they are. Set pieces are a great equalizer, because the game stops completely, and it doesn't matter what's been going on or who's been dominating possession. You have a chance to score.
You do every time. And if you get one person consistently who's good at creating opportunities on the corner kicks, you keep rolling with them, they get enough practice with it, sooner or later, especially with a team like the Dons, they could eventually end up capitalizing every other, if not every time.
Win a good look, but keeper's there to get the ball. That was Andres Abdallah making the run.
Seen a lot of the bench mob in right now. Got Abdallah in, Morishevitz is in, DiFilippo in.
Cesar Lopez is there in the midfield.
There's Cesar Lopez too. And it looks like most of the starters are hanging around the 50 right now.
It looks like Dino and the back three are the only starters left in. So some rest and Abdallah. Oh,
Ooh.
the flag was up.
Woohoo! If that wasn't for offsides, my goodness, that would have been goal number 2 on the day for the Dons. Forget the offsides, just a tad late on getting toward the goalkeeper. Great chances, though, by the Dons. They're making something out of nothing, and that really goes to say a lot about a team when you can create chances. It shows that your players are in that constant attacking mindset. They got a lot of skill, and just the overall effort for the game, just a constant pursuit towards the net.
And I really think those are some that are going to start falling second half. A little more tired legs. I think the game's going to open up a little bit more, and the Dons are going to be able to get on the ends of those. But here's DiFilippo. He pauses, surveys his option. Dino's there. It's a fight, and Northridge gets him.
Yeah, both teams were playing hot potato there for a second, so the Dons have settled it down.
Oh, good turn on the sideline, but he forgot the ball. He's got it again.
Now boot back.
Again, watch here. Once they get it to their center backs, it's like the quarterback position. They facilitate the plays. You can see it slowly moving upfield, all running through the center back's first pass.
And another nothing. I've been saying it for pretty much the entire game. This has been like one of the premier defensive battles that we've seen for most of the year from the Dons and the Knights too. The identity of the Dons this year for most of the year has been score, and then just kind of flatline for a little while, and then score again. But really haven't seen that today.
Gentlemen, am I watching hockey? It just looked like a line change here. Holy moly. We had a ton of subs come in.
Oh, my. Let's see. Who do we got? Max Stalin check.
Looks like Freddie Krug and Trevor Johnson are back up top.
Just got Ryan Shanahan back in. I believe Michael Shanahan also back in.
Now, Danny and Mr. Og, you guys referenced it just a few minutes ago. The Dons really haven't been challenged defensively like this season, except in their loss to Joliet West. But other than that, their game against North Shore Country Day, only a 1-0 win on the road in Winnetka. Since then, but before that and after that, they really haven't, besides letting up their first 2 goals of the year in those wins against St. Viator and Oak Forest, they've really haven't been, pressured on offense like this on the attack. And I'm not going to say smothered because, they did score, but they have been, their attack has died down on several different levels. We're trying to see them facilitate, but they haven't totally capitalized. Northridge has let them squeak by a couple of times, but Northridge kind of has them on lockdown right now. Props to them.
Oh, and some great defense there by Plavonic. One-on-one, that's a terrifying feeling. But he wins the ball, and then he's able to push it up a little bit. Yeah, sort of what you were talking about, Josh. I gotta say frustrating, right? Because like we've seen, the Dons have had some chances and just unable to capitalize so far, and that's got to be frustrating, no?
I'm sorry, my audio cut out there. What did you say, Mr. Og?
Oh, Danny, I think he just does that when he doesn't like what we're saying.
I don't think so. I think so too.
Nothing. I didn't say anything about you, Josh, at all.
Oh, okay. I couldn't tell if you were going to make a point.
No, all I was saying was so close, and it's got to be a little frustrating to see so many chances come up just short, and you just got to keep going for them.
Yeah, relentless. Just being relentless on the attack is the main thing. And like we said, couple of off the post, several just a few feet away from the post. Notre Dame's just got to capitalize on the opportunity. They're getting set up. They're doing a great job of getting to the point, getting up that mountain with the torch. Now they got to place the torch on top of the mountain. That's where they're at right now. Northridge, however, hoping to get their first win since Friday, not too long ago. Their first win since last Wednesday against Chicago University High. Hoping to get win number 4 in the season and get back to 500. And Northridge right down the road is same in Niles, probably 5 minutes away. Decent at home, 2-1, but 1-3 on the road. And right now, if they can't get their attack together, their defense is solid. But if they can't get the attack rolling, they might drop to 1-4 on the road and end up with a 3-5 record.
Yeah, I can tell you that they would not want to have that happen. They would like to leave Legends Field with a record of 500, but a little bit of contact there between Trevor Johnson and Owen Coleman. Watch out.
So, gentlemen, question for you. Not a lot of work so far for Lobianco. What do you think is going through his head? Do you think he has to work to stay in the game? Do you think he's sitting there thinking about his physics test that's coming up on Friday? Like what how do you think a goalkeeper stays mentally in the game like this?
Yeah. So I think what it comes down to is trusting your defense. Definitely, if he wants, he could think about that physics test when they're on the other side of the 50. But when they're on his side of the 50, I think trust is going through his mind and thinking about the last almost 40 minutes of this, almost his first half that has passed, thinking what he's done right, what he's done wrong. What he's done wrong, maybe he's got to improve on. He's had solid play so far. So I think what he needs to do is he's probably going through his head right now. Obviously not at this moment because they're right next to him. But just thinking about what he's done right, how he can keep doing that, and just trusting his center backs, honestly, is what it comes down to. They've played great today. They do jump up a little on the attack, so I think he needs to prep for breakaways. Other than that, I think it's those two things that are really going through his mind right now. Physics test right now, Mr. Og, because they're on the other side of the 50. He's thinking about questions.
Absolutely.
Ayo.
And a great recovery run by Northridge. That's Jack Brown in the midfield, and he's been kind of all over the place. He's been controlling the midfield for Northridge, and like I said, a good recovery to narrow down ND's options there. And Northridge wants to go fast here. They're going to try to push on the counter. Oh, a great ball, just out of reach.
Another chance for Stalinchek. Can he keep it in? Yes, he will. And gets a little wet in the process.
Ooh, a good ball into the box. I will say there have been some good crosses from that left wing there. Marty Cruz had a couple. Mordashevitz had a couple halfway through the first half here. I got to think that they're going to find somebody when the second half rolls around.
Just under we're about a minute and a half left. With that, I have to go do my jobs as a PA announcer, so I'm going to leave Mr. Og and Josh to close things out here in the half. Take it away, gentlemen.
Ooh. Josh, we're on our own. We can say whatever we want.
Okay, let's trash dog Danny as much as possible right now. Man, Danny's doing a great job. Danny is as we like to say, Danny's a dual threat up in the booth. He can do PA and he can do play-by-play. So Danny's doing a great job tonight. Mr. Og again.
Yeah, I was going to say we talk about the players on the field just putting in that immense work rate, and Danny is replicating that up here in the booth. I wish everybody could see exactly how much work he and the team are putting in together. I was super impressed coming up here.
Yeah, I am very impressed. Danny came to me with this idea. He texted me probably last week. He's like, would you be in for some soccer announcing? I said, awesome. Like, I'm totally in. I mean, we'll have to work out the kinks and everything, but in soccer season, so I'm in rhythm with it, and I'm thinking this could be a cool deal. I don't know how it's going to work remotely. Definitely going to be no easy task to get done, but I've been so impressed with the media crew and Danny Berg leading the charge here, how they've done it so well.
And looked like Johnson was just reminding Northridge that he was there. That's all. It's a friendly game.
Just, 10 seconds left. Trevor just doing whatever he can to get to the ball, whether it's knock the guy down, do a slide tackle, get around him, be elusive with it. Almost got the attack, but Mr. Og, we got a 1-0 game. Don's lead, Northridge, going into half.
Northridge 0. We would like to invite all of our great school jersey participants to join us on the Legends Field turf.
Are we still on through halftime? Yeah, no, I was just wondering if we still keep going during halftime or we take it off. Okay, cool.
That sounds great. That's good down here. I'm gonna mute the iPad. HubbleCam's still live. Mute the iPad. Nope, that's HubbleCam's still live.
I just need a chair.
All right, we have returned from a very short half. That went fast.
It was an eventful half.
It was an eventful half. We had a little grade school soccer going down on the field. That was nice to see. And now it's very windy. We got a nice shot of Lutheran General from where we're at. Danny Berger, Mr. Joe Augustinski, and Josh Lill back with you. So, Mr. Ogg brought up the hospital. How well did you know Johnny O'Malley?
I had John in class last year. It's pretty sad when you get to know someone for a year, and something like that happens. It's pretty shocking. You know what? He was great. He was fantastic. It was a tough year for everybody, because of COVID and going hybrid. And he always came to class ready to go, always contributing to the conversation. I mean, he was a top-notch student, scholar, and all-around high schooler. So, we hope that he pulls through and that things go well.
Oh!
What a start to the second half. It was one of those crosses into the box that we were talking about in the first half, gentlemen.
Do we lose Josh? Are you still around? He's nodding. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, no, John O'Malley, I didn't know him like. Can you hear me?
Yep.
We can hear you.
Yeah. I didn't know him like super personally, but I definitely, would recognize him if I'd see him in the hallways, probably know each other's names, but just, a tragedy getting in that accident. And just a great kid, super involved in the ND community, what I remember, always in that front row of the pep club, always super involved, with Perk Buddies and all those, all the different clubs, you basically could be in. Just a shining face around ND, great person. And, that accident was a big shock for everyone.
So, Mr. Ogg, I'm interested. We have a class of 2020 alum here with us.
Mm-hmm.
If you had to pick some favorites from the class of 2020, who would you pick?
Oh, Danny, I know where you're coming from, and that's a great question, but I can't play favorites. Everybody's fantastic. Now, if you want me to trash talk Josh, sure.
I will say I do know one assignment he is allowed to trash talk, and that was the roller coaster where you have to build it. And my group, that was a struggle. That was a flat-out struggle for us.
Stop spoiling stuff for me.
I know he's just giving you stuff to look forward to. No, credit to Josh's entire class, though, because you had the last 2-3 months of senior year taken away from you, and at least from my end of the computer, I guess. All credit to you guys for finishing off the year. I'm strong and still doing physics when I'm sure that's not what you wanted to do.
Well, it was always fun stuff to learn. I always like learning new things, and it keeps me on my toes for sure. And those, that last 2 to 3 months, that last 2 months, from March 13th to like May 20th or whatever. As I alluded to earlier, dual threat. I talk about this in some assignments when you're getting no teachers.
Oh.
Sorry, you were interrupted by a phenomenal chance. That was Martin. Again, just missing over the crossbar. And Josh, I'll get back to you in a second. But one thing that I really like seeing from the Dons is in the first half, they had some decent possession, and then they were looking for a lot of through balls or going over for sort of the go big. And they've come out this half, and they've sustained the possession a little bit higher up the field, which I think is leading to some even better chances that we're seeing.
Oh, yeah, and with that chance by Zach Martin, from my vantage point, it looked like it might have gone in. And the video froze up for a second, so I'm thinking, is that a goal? Why aren't Mr. Ogg and Danny yelling? Why isn't the crowd going, am I losing it? No, but great chances overall by the Dons. Just constantly threading the needle, getting by the defense. And Northridge, still trying to figure out what formation they're running right now. It seems they came out of the gate with like a 4-4-3 to start. A 4-3-3. And we haven't really seen the attacking component of it. So just
I think that's the thing is the Dons have come out so well that they've been forced to fall back into a defensive position and just keep up with the numbers that the Dons are throwing forward.
Yeah, 4-3-3. It depends how you play it. A lot of people like to leave all the center backs and the fullbacks back. Some coaches like to bring a center back or a fullback up for an attack, leave and drop three to stay back with the goalkeeper. But they're staying strong. The Dons, at least, are staying strong with their 3-5-2. We're seeing the defensive component with it and that holding midfielder. We're seeing that all play out well. But Northridge holding their own.
And as we see them settle in a little bit more. I'm with you, Josh. It is looking like they've got sort of a 4-back line going.
Yeah, the main thing with the 4-3-3 is it preaches attack is what it comes down to. You utilizing your striker, your wingers to really facilitate the ball, and your center backs, fullbacks, at some points can attack. And like I said, sometimes use that staggered midfielder, the 4 or the 6. You never really know, but it's a great attack to have with two swinging halves, and it's for Northridge. They need it right now because we haven't really seen many offensive chances. I don't know if I recall seeing any even shots put on by them. Maybe a couple shots on net. Nothing really to it though for Northridge right now.
It just speaks to the Dons. And a challenge in midfield, and this one is going the Dons' way. Shanahan gets up limping a little bit, but he's running it off.
And I'm going to throw a stat out there to all our viewers, listeners, that this will speak volumes to the Dons' dual threat play, their component of offense on the attack and defense. They average 5 goals a game. 5. They average 5 a game. That is a lot. And here's the thing. They average 3.9 assists a game. So these aren't one-on-one plays being created. This is the team working together. Playing
they are very unselfish.
Yeah, and playing cohesive together as one unit. That's when you really get unstoppables. You play that kind of style and you have depth. You have those two things. We said depth is dangerous. That combo of cohesiveness and depth, unbeatable combo. And Mike Smith, Tom Crowley, and Mike Pearson clearly have that with this Don squad. And credit to Obianco. There's a post play made there.
And that was, that was another throw-in. And we've seen the Dons be dangerous on those throw-ins high up the field that, they get some chances.
And throw-ins, I think, are a super underrated part of the game. Calling a game the other week, one of the players could throw the ball halfway across the field on a throw-in. And imagine having that on your, having that ability, a player with that skill set on your team to throw the ball almost halfway across the field, overhead. That adds a whole new part to your game plan and your preparation, because if they have a throw and they could put it almost anywhere they want on the field.
Kimura with the aforementioned throw-in. And a little too much there from Northridge. Just out of reach.
Yeah, for Northridge, they're really staying into between that 30 and 50-yard line on their defending side of the field. They haven't really gotten into their attacking third or their attacking quarter, however you divvy up the field. They haven't really gotten to that point. And I think
I'm going to hesitate to say poor Northridge though until ND can get a second goal in, because this is still a 1-0 game, a 1-0 match, 1-0 match on the pitch.
Oh, Josh looks lost. Are you okay, Josh? Uh-oh. Did we lose him again?
Sorry.
Josh, you there?
My
there
audio cut out. It was a little
not
choppy.
again. Hey, it's a test run for us, too.
Again, first trial doing this for all our folks tuning in. Shout out to the media crew for putting this together.
Ten minutes in, and nothing doing so far. But, hey, look at this. Oh, I thought something was going to come out of that. I shouldn't have gotten my hopes high.
Now, Danny, this is what? Game 5 or 6, right, that you've called?
Let's see. We had DePaul, we had this, we had Sen, we had St. Viator. I think this is 4 now.
So have you fallen in love with the game yet?
I think what a lot of it for me has just been like, the awe of seeing these guys just consistently go for 80 minutes. I've done basketball. Oh, something happened. I missed something. Arguments going on here with the goalkeeper and the referee.
There's a ball right over there.
Okay, so that was weird, whatever that was. It's Northridge ball. But I was saying, I've done basketball games in the past, and here's Josh taking a nice photo of us. Say hi, everybody.
For Twitter.
Oh, is it for the gram?
Yes.
Ooh, maybe gram material. Maybe gram. But definitely Twitter. 100% Twitter.
Josh, you're talking to someone who has no idea what the difference is between them. I mean, I understand the difference between them, but I don't know what goes on the gram or what goes on Twitter.
That's okay.
Just make sure to follow us. We have our hashtag, our ampersand, all that stuff is up at the top of your screen. But as I was saying, I've done basketball games, I've done football games. I don't think it's as much of a grind as it is with soccer. Consistently moving around for 80 minutes the way that they do, it's a marvel, at least to me, considering I've only watched the game from afar. I've never played it. Oh, hello. Whoa.
And the second half here is getting a little chippy. I think as the game goes on, Danny, as you're saying, you just get tired. And these teams have been competing for, what now, 45 minutes of game time. They're going to get a little testy. And I think that's what happened down at the goal line. There was a little bit of jawing back and forth between ND and the goalkeeper, and just there in the midfield. And the call didn't go ND's way, but you got to stay present in the game. It's mental now.
Not really some. Oh, go ahead, Josh.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. So what? You allude to the chippiness that's coming in. Right now, in Northridge's mind, first of all. First half, they allow the goal. Now they're coming with this attacking mindset. And just to see their plans not come to fruition right now, right here, there may be a play.
Oh, they're staying with it. They got numbers. And some great defending by Harris to shut that one down.
But it's moments like that Northridge, they had the opportunities to facilitate on those and capitalize, and they haven't come to fruition. So you're seeing that frustration come out. It's starting to be a physical distraction, as you can see. But now, like on that play, on that dumping by the Knights, they're getting closer and closer to the goal. Sooner there's going to be a corner. Sooner or later, there will be a corner kick for the Knights that will lead to probably the best chance they will have at a goal, a.k.a. shot on net, or, yeah, one of those two.
And what were we saying in the first half? Set pieces are a great equalizer. Oh! And a foul in the box. Ends that attack.
About 25 minutes remaining in the game, and probably one of the best defensive battles we have seen all season. Downs got their only goal of the game about 90 seconds in, and since then, there has been nothing at all. It's been really impressive to see Michael Zimba trying to change that, but that's going to stay in. Northridge trying to foil it, and they will for now. Shanahan taking to the ground, and now a whistle. Northridge
completely settling in here. They're probably playing more of a defensive 4-3-3 at this point. Well, honestly, you're seeing both. You're seeing the attack You're seeing the attempts of the attack, but their defensive part of their game is really what's holding the fort down right now, giving them any chance at it. But a free kick here.
Ooh, nice
puts
save.
it on goal.
Header by Dino is going to keep it into the Don's possession. Now a shot for Krug. 3-on-1, and Northridge's number is able to foil that. It's going to stay with the Dons.
It looks like we got some subs coming in.
Krug almost able to put the ball home. But 3-on-1, that's a bit of tough odds. Some players have a chance at it. Krug, very close. Probably that initial pass that was taken at the top of the top of the 6 around the, or excuse me, the top of the 18 around the arc. When the ball was there, you got to take that initial chance sometimes.
And a bit of a heavy challenge from Shanahan.
Mm-hmm. While we've got a second for all of our future Dons that are out watching or listening or hanging up under the press box, tours are back. We had some private tours last year that we were doing, one-on-ones. Those are back again if that was an option you would prefer. We have an open house coming up in a couple of weeks, which is very exciting. We didn't have that last year, so you get to meet a lot more people in the building. And then Shadow Days also back, one of the very special things about this school for 8th graders. 7th graders will be able to do it soon. So a lot of opportunities for future Dons. If you're interested in coming to Notre Dame, take advantage of the opportunities. So, Mr. Rogg, I'm interested. I'll ask you first. What have you noticed about being here as a teacher, being very present in the community? What have you noticed about what's special about here than other schools?
Well, I think there's just a fantastic sense of community here at Notre Dame. That's the thing that I felt when I walked in the doors. That's the thing I felt in the first year and the second year and on through all the years here that, when you're here, you're welcomed. And not to say that other places don't have that, but I truly think that there's a great feeling of togetherness, that the Dons are in it together. As the Dons were in it together on that one, LoBianco with the save. And I think that, I think that translates everywhere we go. I mean, here on the pitch we talk about how unselfish the Dons are, and you see a lot of names on that stat sheet after the game putting up goals, and it speaks to how giving everyone is of each other.
Yes,
Josh, would you like to expand?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely talking about the unselfishness. The team leader in assists, none other than Freddie Krug, who also leads the team in goals. He has 14 goals. This is before the game today, obviously, and 8 assists. And then next up in assists is Ian Martinez with 5. And you're seeing these high numbers, which is credit to the Dons scoring, but playmaking is what sets you up for those opportunities. So seeing one player with 8 assists, one with 5. I see right now 3 with 4 assists. Again, this is all pre-Northridge. So I don't know what the coaches are preaching or what the players' philosophies are, but they've got it down pat, because any team that can share the ball that much and score and capitalize off of those passes is a dangerous threat down the road, not just for regionals and for sectionals. We're talking super sectionals and the Final Four.
Martinez going to keep this one into play, but Northridge going to knock this one out. And that's going to be Northridge's ball.
And the Dons were ready for another quick attack on the throw-in.
That's just how fast-paced this group is.
The ref had other ideas.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of refs like to keep it at a certain pace. They need to, and that's the thing with officials and referees. You have to manage the game. You can't let it get too out of hand. You can't keep it one side where you may let Notre Dame throw it in. Like the second they touch the ball, you make Northridge. Fumbling over the words. Wait, you got to give them even amount of time when you're throwing in. Got to get the defense set just a hair. Obviously, not waiting for a minute or two, but giving each team a fair amount of time to get set up.
Ooh.
And looks like some feet got tangled on that one. But I tell you what, as the clock ticks down more and more, those set pieces get a little bit scarier every time they line up. I know that one was far, but I just don't like seeing the ball go into our box.
Yes, and the more, Mr. Og, the more you get those set plays of the corners and the free kicks and the penalty shots, including, the more you get time to have those set up, and I'll take it to you for a breakaway here. Well, they're not. But the more you have those set pieces, like you were saying, and the more repetitive you get with them, the more it happens throughout the game, you're bound to finally capitalize it. I think you're going to see that, especially from Notre Dame. If they get a couple more corners or free kicks, someone's going to make the opportunity. Northridge, it might take them a couple extra times, just since they haven't done it too much tonight.
And how about this? Kier Swanson is now in the game at goaltender. So, Josh, I'm interested. What do you think that switch means for the Dons here?
It means a break for Leo Banco. He's played a great night. He had he's been busy more this half than the last. And Swanson, the sophomore, he's appeared in 5 games. He's helped contribute to 2 shutouts, 2 of the shutouts the Dons have had. And you see this on the college level too. They'll bring a goalkeeper in when the time's starting to tick down. And I think, honestly, what it comes down to is that the coaches are confident in the center backs, the holding mid, and the other midfielders, and holding down the foreign defense, that they're just going to leave it up to the attack.
Oh, and a great save right there.
Wow. Fans are loving it.
Let's see if the Dons can counter.
And this one's going to roll away. Bye-bye.
Now, if that doesn't tell you about Swanson's game, I don't know what does. Coming in right off the bat, big save like that.
Well, and man, I feel like we're a broken record here, but did you see what it came off of? Came off of a set, as throw in, and there was some confusion. The keeper came off his line, and Northridge had a good look, but an even better recovery and a nice reaction save there.
Mr. Ogg's doing a great job of referring to the set pieces. In terms of Notre Dame, I think the next one they get, they'll have a very good chance. I think Northridge, after seeing that throw-in, they're maybe 1 or 2 away from getting as good of a chance as Notre Dame has right now.
Ooh.
And Northridge continues to just remind ND that they're lurking, they're ready.
It seems like they're just waiting to just break out of their shell. It seems like they've just been consistently progressing throughout the game, just haven't been able to break through. But it seems like just the way they've played in about the last 10, 15 minutes of game time that they're about ready to get one through.
But it's going to be a hard time for that, because that play right there, the center back, with 2 Northridge Knights coming right at him, able to clear it like that and do it with confidence. Get the leg up, get a nice kick over the 50-yard line, right over the center, out towards the far right flank. Able to do that with confidence, that's huge. And I think that speaks volumes to Coach Smith's strategy, possibly. And, whenever you're talking sports, you hope that there's no injury involved with this. But if this is strategy, you saw Swanson's. I'll let you guys take it here.
And
and it's gonna be a kick from the spot. That was Zima, who had just come in on the substitution, coming off on the right side, leaving it for Freddie Krug, and there was some contact in the box, and he goes down. So, folks, this is gonna be a penalty for Notre Dame, and you hope Krug's okay.
oh boy.
Trainer's coming out on the field.
Krug took a big hit there.
So while we have that, we are going to go take a break. All right, so we come back from a quick break. Freddie Krug taking a hard hit to the ground, was taken out of the game for right now. So he will not be taking the penalty kick coming up. On a scary sight there for Freddie.
So it looks like Paul Harris is lining up to take this one.
First, we want to wish Krug well, him and his family, that he can get back to good health as soon as possible. We hope he's okay.
So we'll have to keep an eye on him over there on the sideline.
And Harris on the year, 2 goals, 2 assists. That adds up to 6 points. So someone who hasn't scored the ball as much as Krug or Beresweta, but nonetheless has put the ball in the net. And the senior captain, hoping to lead his team to victory. A possible victory, with this penalty kick.
He finally got a couple goals after going scoreless last year. Here we go. This one's good.
Oh, and that is confidence right there because the goalie guessed right. He picked the right side, and Harris just put too much pace on that and not quick enough reaction by the goalie. That was a perfect penalty.
Woo! What a strike. Paul Harris, the captain, delivers. That one's for Freddie Krug right there. He capitalizes for his teammate that goes down. Goal number 3 on the year. Paul Harris has Legends Field standing.
And the Dons have taken a 2-0 lead. A little bit of breathing room here, but still about 15 minutes left to go.
And with Northridge, you have to be careful with the Dons. As you see right there, just unforgiving pressure from Mike Smith's attackers there. You see it again. The littlest mistake by Northridge is being taken well into the hands of the Dons.
Here's Ryan Shanahan keeping that one in. A missed opportunity there for the Dons. Now looking to reset.
I'd say for Northridge here, look for them to lack on the defensive component because they need to put up a goal. They're down 2-0 right now. And at this point, they got to have something. Playing good defense it's going to help, but they're going to need some form of an attack. And the only way to do that is really utilize the 4-3-3's ability and absolutely push it towards your attacking third. Be relentless and smother. You have to smother the Dons who have the ball. This is your only chance. And time's a ticking, Mr. Ogg. You said under 15 minutes left. Clock's ticking, and they got to move.
It is, and here's Harris controlling the ball again. And he is really putting some work in. He's running. You got to reward that run.
Now here's Zimba with a chance. Sets it up. Oh! And it's 3 points.
It was. That was. Another great look with Zima coming up on the right side and centering it in. That was Dino, who just a little high, but let's give him some credit because he has been dominating the midfield all game. I feel like we skipped over this beautiful like mid-air volley that he turned and led the attack on a couple minutes ago. That is just a commanding presence and great to have for the Dons.
Almost another one.
So, if my math is correct, if the Dons would have capitalized on their closest opportunities, we're probably looking at a 6-0, 7-0 game. So it's one of those days for the Dons. What they needed to do, they have scored on, but their chances, they're very close, haven't really been there. But they also have made opportunities from nothing. We've seen defenders, attackers for the Dons take 2 or 3 defenders at once and somehow facilitate a play that leads to even a remotely close shot on that. So props to them for that.
That one will be knocked out.
But this seems to be a running theme here in the last couple of minutes is send Zima up on the right and then throw numbers into the box, and hopefully he can find someone on the end of a cross.
Trevor Johnson tossing it in, a header and a catch and a boot.
High booming kick towards the 50.
Marty took one off. Looks like the side of the head, and now he's grabbing his head. He's holding like the top. Hopefully he's okay. A little shaken up, but it looks like he's fine.
A little more body than playing the ball on that one's going to give the Dons possession as they enter the final third here.
And it looks like Freddie Krug is waiting in the wings to come back in. How about that?
And Freddie Krug himself could be the final nail in the coffin. Paul Harris delivered it, but Freddie might be able to hammer it down just a little more with his offensive presence.
What a beautiful storybook ending that would be. As we're under 10 minutes now here.
Wow, really flew.
Time flies when you're having soccer.
I thought
Indeed.
we were going in a
does,
different direction with that.
It truly does.
I thought we were going to go a different direction with that, but that's okay.
Well, I mean, we are having fun, right?
That's true.
Yes, we are.
But you know what would work better in that situation?
What's that?
Time flies by when you're having football.
Oh.
And Freddie, another hard hit. I can make puns too. Well, I don't know if I'd call that a pun, but
Every hit he takes, he gets up faster and faster. He's tough as nails.
this kid only a sophomore too. He's got a long career ahead of him here under the lights of Legends Field, and he's already starting to cement himself a legacy.
Well, I remember my time at ND, the big new acquisitions for the Dons were really Paul Harris, Zach Martin, Trevor Johnson, Andrea Berzueta, and now they're on their way out after this year, and you're seeing those new names, like Freddie Krug, Marty Krug, Dandino, all these guys making their way through the system. It's really cool to see how this program has stood strong for a long time.
Yeah, and even through all the transition too, really haven't gone They really haven't gone anywhere, and now they're looking like a team to beat in the area, and possibly once you get to state playoffs, they're going to be a threat.
Yeah, you just have to watch out for the Crystal Lakes, the Bennett Academies of the IHSA when it comes to soccer. Not just for men's, for women's soccer too. It's those kinds of schools that really have it really, really knitted into their system, and they've had the recruiting going for it for years, a number of years. So Notre Dame really starting to make their way and make a name for themselves with it.
And you got to put Loyola into there too. They've been playing really well this year. Like you said, Bennett Academy has been one that's hung around for a while. St. Pat's has been. They've been teetering the last couple of years. It was big for the Dons to get that win last year in the Irish Cup. All the elements and the hype of the game, and they ended up coming out on top, which was huge.
Right now, according to Max Preps, Notre Dame is top 150 in the nation, top 20 in Illinois, ranked second, in Illinois, Class 2A. So definitely making a name for themselves as a team to beat. And we'll see where the future takes them. Again, that is all according to Max Preps. And there are many polls out there, just like college football, that you can pay attention to. But Max Preps is a big one, and that's where they're labeled as right now.
Little hit on top of the trainer's cart there.
And Trevor Johnson had a great look a couple minutes ago. It looks like the keeper just beat him to the ball. But it seems like the Dons realize that there's only 6.5 minutes left, and they're going to leave everything out on the field. As we have another sub. Looks like Ryan Shanahan's going off, and Cesar Lopez has come onto the pitch.
And this one going the other direction.
And just looking ahead for both teams over the next week, they will be going up against tomorrow. I'll start with Northridge. They're taking on North Shore Country Day in Winnetka. And that is a home game for the Knights. And North Shore did only lose to the Dons 1-0. So you could definitely see maybe some competition there with North Shore and Northridge, followed by a game where they host Marion Central Catholic, the Hurricanes from Woodstock, a member of the ESCC that the Dons see every year. So definitely an interesting schedule for them coming up. And moving it over to the Dons of Notre Dame, they take on, for the Irish Cup, they're on the road against the rival St. Patrick Shamrocks, hailing from the city of Chicago on Thursday. And then Saturday they take on the Fenwick Friars at home in a non-conference matchup at Legends Field. So both teams have some decent games coming up ahead for them.
And that'll be a busy day here Saturday. We got football in the morning. First home games for the upper level teams. You can, I know Mr. Ogg can attest to this. The tension's been building for a game to come back.
I think people have been waiting. It's been a while, and Friday night under the lights is always a big one, big time to celebrate together. So I think people are ready for a home football game.
It's definitely, it's been a little weird. We had got a clock stoppage now and a yellow card pulled on
looks like Michael Shanahan has entered the book.
And that's not a trend that we want to see continuing. Mike Shanahan, last couple games, at least that I have seen, he's had at least one card pulled on him, which is not something you want to see, but he's not coming off the field yet. He's just kind of hanging around.
Yeah, cards definitely, it shows your, I'll start with the yellow. That kind of shows your aggressiveness for the game. A lot of times yellow cards just happen in play. You don't intentionally try to do something. Just so happens that there is a play that ends up being a card there. Red, however, that's where you get a little intentional. Things get chippy. If you're frustrated, you physically exert your frustration on a player. That's where you see the red card. So yellow card, remember, folks, that's going to be more of an incidental play where you're not trying to do anything bad, but the ref sees something that he doesn't like, and he'll pull that on you.
So anyway, back to the conversation we were having earlier. Towards the end of the last season, last game of the year, it was a pretty good crowd out here at Legends Field against St. Rita Mustangs. But I know that I can say it, Mr. Ogg can say it, that everyone's been waiting for the games to come back, and it definitely was very out of the ordinary to have 3 straight road games to start off the season. Probably not something that sat well with students.
3 tough road games.
Yeah.
That's a tough schedule to start the season off on.
I was able to watch the first game, the Glenbard North game. If I'm correct, that's who they played. I was able to watch that, and that, heartbreak ending. Every team's going to have those moments where it looks like you're in one cover, a player slips, and then someone's open down the field last second, and it's going to happen. But the Dons are a team coached by awesome athletic director, super dedicated man, Mike Hennessy. And what he preaches to that team is just never giving up. Keep going with what sticks with you, because when you do that, you're going to be rewarded. And
that one just missed.
Just off the mark. But it was a good look for Northridge.
Go ahead, continue.
Yes, and that's what Mike Hennessy preaches to this football team. He is well respected not only in the conference, not only in his class, in the state. So I think a home game is what's needed to get their mantra back. Just get over 500 at this point, and then prep for the playoffs. See your team strength and the team strength and weaknesses. Aggressive play there by the Dons, and then you go from there.
I like that game plan. So, as Josh talked about, we have home games coming up. Josh is interested in coming back and doing some football games. We had talked about it earlier, so that's exciting. We're also going to preview high school game day is making its return after 2 years not being around. Wasn't around last year. It is back. We will have our first game day next week.
Last game day. Last game day we did was Barrington, first round game of the 2019 playoffs, where the Dons took the victory, 23-21 against the Broncos.
So as we enter our final minute and a half, Mr. Rogg, I want to ask, what has impressed you about this team tonight?
The perseverance. As I said in the first half, I clearly would have been frustrated just with the number of chances that were not going my way. And I feel like mentally that can easily get in your head. And I partly expected them to slack off a little bit, and you know what? They didn't. We continued to see those chances over and over again, that play up the wings as they would cross in, and I was just impressed by how they've kept the pace up, even when things weren't going their way. This was a game that they had to grind out, and all the credit in the world to them for doing it. It's not an easy win, but it's a win.
They will take it. Dons are going to improve to 9-1 overall. Northridge is going to fall to 3-5 as final 15 seconds of the game. Northridge looks like they're just going to run the clock down. One last heave. Try and knock it in. And nothing doing as the Dons. What a surprise. Another shutout. Another shutout. Was it really a surprise, though? I don't think so.
Looking at the stats coming into this game, you see what the defense has done for them. With that unbeatable combination of solid center backs, fullbacks, with a goalkeeper who's locked in, and 2, as we saw tonight, a duo like that. You're going to see, it speaks to the volumes of what they can do. So I'm going to turn it over to Northridge really quickly. I want to commend their defensive play. 2 goals allowed on this kind of offense. You have to respect that. Notre Dame is averaging 5 goals a game. Northridge held them to 2. That's under half of what they normally average. So for all the Northridge fans out there, for Northridge players, coaches who hear this, impressive on the defensive end and with your midfielders, how they played. On the attack, you got to switch things up a little bit. Notre Dame is great on defense and the attack. So finding that happy medium between the two, that's going to be key. Now to Notre Dame, phenomenal play on both ends. by the Dons. Great coaching by Mike Smith, Tom Powell, and Mike Pearson tonight. I'll start with the attack. Way to just, like you said, like you alluded to, Mr. Ogg, just sticking with your game plan. Staying true to who you are, staying cohesive as one unit, moving towards the attacking third. It doesn't matter how fast you do it. It's how you do it, the process you go through it, not rushing things, taking your time, finding the holes in the midfielders, the holding mid, or the center backs or the full backs for Northridge. Being able to get your way through, create opportunities for each other, playing unselfish soccer. Now on the defensive end, phenomenal job. I don't know really what else I have to say. Great goaltending by Lobianco and Swanson. Swanson coming in later, making a great save. A jumping save with, well, I would say not even being in for a minute. And the defense held up great. Yet again, another shutout. Is it surprising? I couldn't tell you. I think it is. If you've seen better, good for you. But this is very good from what I've seen from this Dons team. Again, I'm counting right now. Lakeview, DePaul, Sten, North Shore, Steinmetz, Joliet. I lost count for a second. That's 6.
That's okay.
Shutout number 7 tonight against Northridge Knights. That's all I have for my post-game analysis, if you will.
What a post-game.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything else to say. I think, Josh, that was a fantastic way to wrap it up. I'll end just by saying thank you. Josh, first of all, thanks for calling in with us and calling the game remotely. It was fantastic to hear from you. I'm glad to hear that things are going well and super happy for you as you continue on with your work. And I hope you do many more soccer games as a soccer fan. So great to talk to you, and Danny, thanks to you guys and the crew for letting me jump on here and talk a little bit of soccer.
It was an absolute pleasure. So, in terms of what we have coming up, we have football coming up this Friday. We have both sophomores and varsity that evening against Nazareth, and then it's homecoming week after that, so that's going to be a very exciting week. We're going to have some stuff that week. So with that, the Dons are now 9-0. They still have not lost at home. For Josh Lowe calling the game in Lincoln, Nebraska, for Mr. Joe Augustinski calling the game here with us, for our entire broadcast crew, it's Danny Berg signing off. Have a great night, and go Dons.